Good evening. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park. I'm Mayor Bianca Motley-Broom. We have a full quorum present with council members McKenzie, Karn, Arnold, and Gay. And so at this time, at 7:30 p.m., I will call the meeting to order, restating my objections to the omnibus motion this council passed on January 2nd and Ordinance 2024-01. Our first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I think Chaplain Walker is getting our invocation soon.
Madam Mayor, Stanley Muhammad is going to do the invocation per the city manager.
All right.
I'm sorry, you're not the Muhammad I thought he said. My apologies.
Oh, no. We're two different people.
Okay.
Well, I want to say that thank you all for inviting me to do this prayer. And I want to kind of say a prayer for the whole world. And I'd like to say this here in starting. In 2003, I spent a month in Israel. I spent 2 weeks in Gaza and 2 weeks in Israel. I spoke at the Israeli Agricultural College. I spoke at the Knesset. And I spent a lot of time there. And to see what's going on now is really kind of heartbreaking. And I went there on a peace mission with a group of Christian pastors from Tennessee. And I would just like to say a prayer for that part of the world, a prayer for this part of the world for peace. Not taking any sides of either one. We need peace. We need peace and love in this world for everybody. So I'll start with the 7th chapter of the Bible, Chronicles, Second Chronicles, 7th chapter. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, forgive their sins, and heal their land. O God, the powerful, the merciful, please bless this body tonight to be able to come together for the good of College Park. Bless this body tonight to be able to come together for the good of themselves, because what we need in this world is peace and love and unity. And we're asking you to bring your spirit and your word and your will among us as a people, that we can all unite regardless of creed, class, or color, that we can work together with one another and be one with you. We need a world of peace and love. We need a city of peace and love, and we need to come together. So I ask you, please bring us together. Old people in this room, let's join together with a moment of prayer and silent meditation that will allow us to meditate and heal our hearts, heal our souls, heal our minds. And thank you so much, Councilman Gay, Vice Mayor, for allowing me to do this prayer. And I hope and pray that the world that we all would like to see come into existence will be made whole and safe and sound for all of us. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Next is additions, deletions, amendments, or changes to the agenda.
Are there any from the body?
Yes, I would like to add to the agenda a discussion of the Flint River Preserve modder contract.
I have an item, Madam.
Give me 1 second here. Let me just see where we can put that. That would be item 8M, as in Mary. Councilmember Gay?
Madam Clerk, I would like to add, and I would prefer is just the first item of business, statement from the College Park City Council.
Sir, you'd like that at item 8A?
1A.
1A. Well, we've already passed 1, so we are on 2. Where would you like it?
Can we make it can it be 2A?
Okay, 2A. Anything else from the body? Dr. Adediran, I believe you had a removal, is that correct?
The other item will stay on the agenda, and we have the corrected figure
Okay.
from the contractor, so that will stay on the agenda.
Okay. Are you removing anything from the executive session agenda and putting it in the regular session?
No, the item in the executive session will be removed when we get back there.
All right, so we have adding item 8M as in Mary, discussion of Flint River Preserve MARTA contract, and item 2A, statement of College Park City Council. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of those additions to the agenda?
Aye.
Thank you, that is unanimous. So item 2A is a statement of College Park City Council.
I'll take this item. Mayor, I would like to read a statement into the record, and I'm gonna ask Mayor and Council to join me down at the podium.
Can you talk in the mic, Councilman Gay? Can you talk in the mic?
Okay, go here. March 4th, 2024, statement from City Park City Council, and it reads, on behalf of the members of the City of College Park Council, we are addressing our concerns regarding the conduct of Mayor Bianca Broom. Despite our efforts to maintain peace and harmony within our community, we find it necessary to speak out at this time. We have witnessed the consequences of inaction in the face of wrongdoing, and we refuse to stand idly by while our city suffers. Since January the 2nd, 2024, our council has faced unwarranted criticism for upholding the principles outlined in our city charter. On March 1st, our council participated in a retreat aimed at fostering better working relationships for the betterment of our community. Regrettably, we were unaware that the Mayor Broom had filed a lawsuit against the city during this time. We attended the retreat in good faith and committed to finding solutions for the benefit of our constituents. Despite our genuine efforts to extend an olive branch and collaborate, Mayor Broom has chosen to pursue her agenda. We are deeply invested in the well-being and reputation of College Park. Tonight, we had hoped to share positive outcomes from our retreat, but instead, our city found itself once again embroiled in controversy. The citizens of College Park deserve transparency, unity, and progress. We remain committed to serving their best interests and will continue to strive for a brighter future for our community.
My last name is Motley Broom.
The next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Thank you.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of approving of the approval of the agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Councilmember Gay, what is your vote?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we've already had a motion. Do you vote in favor?
You calling us to vote in favor of the motion?
The motion's already been made and there's been a second. What is your vote?
Motion, second?
Is your motion, is your vote in favor of approval of the agenda?
It is.
Okay, thank you. So that is unanimous.
Mayor, and you can, this is a point of clarification. In City of College Park versus Charles Phillips, it was well settled that if a council member don't speak, it is to be understood that it's in favor.
Thank you, sir. And so we're moving on to item 4A, which is the approval of the special called meeting minutes from January 5th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion?
I have discussion.
Councilmember McKenzie?
Okay. Let's see. Okay, for this particular, my concern on these particular minutes was that we did not have the vote. But now the vote has been, I want to also bring to the attention that we didn't have the vote that was noted, and now it has been added. But that was the reason why these minutes were not accepted the first time, because it is important that we put down not only the motion, but the fact that the vote carried.
Any further discussion?
Well, while we're on the minutes, City Manager, our packet seems to be a little out of whack here. We've got an agenda that has items and numbers, whereas our packet, there are different numbers to the items. We're right now on, I guess, 4A, but our packet has 3A in our packet. So the package is mixed up. It's not, it's just incorrect, but I will manage through. We just need to be a little more careful how we put this stuff together, and so we can follow along here.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion on the January 5th special called meeting minutes? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous. Item 4B is the special called meeting minutes from January 2nd, 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion?
Yes, I have a few corrections to these minutes. The first one would be found on line 27 of the minutes. When I was speaking, I did not say adjacent. I said, so you can strike that, 6, the adjacent meeting, so that needs to be struck. Also, line 74 in the packet. My statement was under the ordinance passed by the city council. The mayor does not participate in the deliberations. That's line 74. I said under the ordinance passed by the city council. That was not shown in the minutes. Furthermore, you got that?
For clarity, you want to add that to the minutes?
Yeah, because I think that's important, because it just, the way it's looking is that I'm just saying the mayor does not participate in deliberations, but my statement was under the ordinance passed by the city council. The mayor does not participate in the deliberations. All right. This one is lines number 94 and 96. We have the mayor saying what I said. I said in line number 94, I'm unable to do that, ma'am. The mayor is never referred to me as ma'am, did not say, ma'am, what is your emotions? I said, ma'am. So that needs to be removed. And that's what I have for that particular meeting.
Any additional discussion for the special called meeting minutes from January 22nd? Hearing none. We'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
You find it?
Thank you. That is unanimous. We'll move to the regular session minutes from January 16th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve?
So this is all out of whack. I gotta find those. Motion, just, it's, like I said, like Councilman Carn said, it's, everything here in this packet is
All right.
not in order.
Councilmember McKenzie's made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second with discussion.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Go right ahead.
So these minutes are, they're just wrong. We have, like on line 706, where, Councilwoman McKenzie's, statements are recorded under me. And that's throughout all of the minutes, where she's made statements, but it shows that I made them. So I don't know whether or not they're using some type of software, AI, but
The individual that transcribed them, she may got the voices mixed up, so I can confirm that with her, but,
yeah, and that is true for the rest of the minutes as well, where she's made statements, but it is recorded as I said it.
Okay.
I think we should,
we'll double check those.
well,
Councilmember Carn?
did somebody make a motion to approve this? Because I think
Yes, sir.
maybe we ought to reconsider.
There's a motion by Councilmember McKenzie and a second by Councilmember Arnold.
I made, discussion, I made the motion because I have listed some of the corrections. I'm not sure if this is the minutes that Councilwoman Arnold is referring to in terms of line 706. Is it this one or is it the next? It is, because I didn't see that in 706. You said 706?
January 16th, right?
Yeah.
Page
32.
32? Yeah, page 32.
January 16th,
We're on
regular session?
Yes, regular session minutes from January 16th.
Right, okay, that's just, right. That's what I was saying. I think she's in the wrong.
Our stuff is all mixed up.
It's totally, the book is totally confusing right now. I know we look crazy, but this is, things are not in order. So, we're looking at January 16th, the regular session minutes. Is that correct, Mayor?
That is correct.
Okay, I do have some corrections on that. Lines 344 and 345. It's an action. It says Chairwoman Jamel McKenzie moved to extend time to Mr. Willis, seconded by Chairwoman Tracy Arnold, and motion carried. We are not chairwomen. We are councilwomen. So that just needs to be changed.
What page?
It's page 93, line 344 and line 345.
Okay, I'm looking at,
Are you looking at?
I'm looking at 3AC, January 16th.
Workshop session.
No,
It's-
we're
we're
not
on the
in
regular
order.
session.
We're at 3AF. It's nothing's in order, okay? And-
Okay, so we jumped from 3AC to 3AF?
Yeah.
We're
so-
on 3AF now.
We're
Yeah.
on the regular session minutes for January 16th.
Well,
Yeah, but it's everything's off.
That's what we were doing next, according to this listing. So,
You're at
no one told me
3AF and we're really supposed to be at 3AC.
no one told me we jumped to F.
Yeah, that's why I'm a
Okay.
little thrown off. Also, while we're on this, line 919, which is found on page 106. This page, a lot needs to be redone. Okay, I played the tape back, and from 919 to 926, this is not what Councilman Carn said. Meaning, if we're gonna, I'm not saying we have to do verbatim, but we don't want to change and not say what was said. At least summarize it the way it was said. So this is not reflective of the statement that Council, and I was painstakingly listened to every single one of these meetings over again and looked at the minutes, and they don't reflect what was said. So this page 106, I'm requesting that all of page 106 and 919 specifically, I think we started, I don't know where We talked about finding the Flint, and there's a lot of information that's missing. So I would like for page 106 to be revisited and for those minutes to reflect what was actually said in the meeting, especially with finding the Flint.
Councilmember Carn?
Could I make a suggestion? And this is just my opinion. You know, instead of piecemealing all of these bad minutes together, why don't we just not approve this packet and have it brought back the correct way? That way we don't have to do research up here for the mistakes.
I have discussion.
Councilmember McKenzie?
My concern is that we are being seen as not approving minutes. So if we don't, it's like you're dogged on if you do, you're dogged on if you don't. If we don't approve these minutes, it will be said that we are now not approving minutes. Minutes are supposed to be approved at the meeting following when those minutes were recorded. So if we do not approve these minutes tonight, I want it to be clear and crystal clear that we tried our level best to approve the minutes. I don't want to hear that this council is falling short of doing our duty because we're not getting the information that we need.
Well, I don't mind it being said, and for one, I'm not going to approve incorrect. I'm not going to approve incorrect records. So, regardless of what someone says, I'm not going to. That's just me.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of approving the regular session minutes from January 16th, 2024? All those opposed? Any abstentions? Councilmember McKenzie, what is your vote?
I'm willing to approve these minutes providing that the changes are made. That's what I was doing.
So your vote is in favor to approve the regular session minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, Councilmember Carn, what is your vote?
Opposed?
Councilmember Arnold?
I oppose as well.
Councilmember Gay? Councilmember Gay, what is your vote? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's a mess. It's a mess now. It's a mess.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, so we have Councilmember McKenzie in favor, Councilmembers Carn and Arnold opposed, and Councilmember Gay abstaining. The motion fails. Item 4D is approval of the regular session minutes from February 5th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve? Hearing none, it dies.
I have a motion, yes.
Okay, Councilmember McKenzie?
Okay, I just have to find it in the packet because everything is backwards. Okay. I know that line 795,
I'm sorry, hold on, Councilmember McKenzie, so you have made a motion.
I made a motion, yeah.
All right, is there a
I said I
second?
had to find it.
Motion dies for a lack of a second. So we will move to the regular session minutes for February 19th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve? There is no motion, so we will go to the workshop session minutes for January 16th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve? Hearing no motion, we will move to the workshop session minutes for February 5th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve? Hearing no motion, we'll move to the workshop session minutes for February 19th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve? Hearing none, that does not go forward either. So we are on to proclamations, resolutions, plaques, and announcements. We have our employee of the month.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This employee joined the City of College Park in November 2003 and has been a tremendous asset. He is capable of doing things most would not, or should I say, most are afraid to do. He is always up for a challenge and takes his job very seriously. He has been with the city for 20 years and is the only animal control officer for the entire city. He has secured several homes for many stray animals within the city and has adopted several himself. He is always lending a helping hand and carry out duties far beyond animal control officer. He is always present at community events, never takes a day off, never calls out, and is always on call. He is very generous, whereas he donates his vacation time to other employees in need. He is nothing less than extraordinary individual. He is one of a kind. He is Mike Antol.
Group. Like tilt it forward. Yep. All right, on three. 1, 2, and 3. Again. 1, 2, and 3. Last time. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
We'll now move to remarks of citizens. Ms. Ames?
The
Point
first
of
person I
order.
had to sign in is James Walker.
Point of order before we get started with this. Madam Clerk, would you remind us of how many minutes are given to public comments? How many minutes do we have for public comments?
36 total.
Now, the question with the 36 minutes, are we saying 36 minutes that people have the opportunity to comment, or is it 36 minutes from the time that the comment begins to it ends? Because while people are, last time we had a meeting, we had people coming down, the time, it seemed like the clock was still ticking, and we ran out of time, so.
Yes, the public comment section itself is 36.
36 minutes, okay, just wanted the clarification.
The first person I have is James Walker, Rugby Avenue, to discuss lawsuit.
Council, Mayor, City Manager, City Attorney, this pains me to come before you this evening. One word that comes to mind is dysfunctional. I ask you, is the risk of this worth the reward, Madam Mayor? As I read over this complaint that you filed against the people who you claim to represent, I'm left with one question. Was this the right thing to do given where we are as a city? Just because you have a right to do something doesn't make it right. It seems to me to be very disingenuous that you would claim to be working with team building with your colleagues, all the while planning a lawsuit in federal court against the same constituents you claim to work with and represent. Even going to the point of attending a workshop geared towards mending bridges and fences and problem solving this weekend. That, I might add, you came late to and left early without notifying your colleagues or the facilitator. Mind you, we paid for this weekend. My tax dollars did. And we expect you to be there and work in good faith towards moving this city forward, not setting us back to a point that I am afraid we will not be able to come back from in College Park. However, it is painfully clear to me and others that I've spoken to today that your intentions from the very beginning have been anything but genuine.
I do, however, commend our council members and other officials for attending in good faith this retreat to heal our city. I hope that at least you all got a chance to come together and to bond as a more cohesive unit. Madam Mayor, you are Mayor Bianca Motley Broom. You are the CEO of College Park, or at least that's what the lawsuit contends. But let me ask you, where do you find a CEO that sues its company and does not get removed or fired by its shareholders? You don't. You know why? Because it doesn't happen. What bothers me is not that you filed a lawsuit, because you have the right to do that and to be heard. What bothers me is the way you did it. You, being an attorney, a part-time magistrate judge, and a mediator who has worked as such since 2017, should possess the skill set necessary in unifying our city and our council. That is not the case. You could have worked through mediating these issues that directly deal with you and your colleagues, but you didn't. This filing should have been the last-ditch effort in resolving this matter.
Thank you, sir.
He can have additional time, make a motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Being an attorney who has practiced in the federal court system, know very well the expense and time involved and the billable hours that goes into drafting a complaint such as this. With the exhibits, as I said, this should have been the last-ditch effort, but no, it was not. What have you done as mayor, as CEO, to try to fix this problem before filing this lawsuit? Instead of using my taxpayers' dollars that will go well into the six figures to defend this lawsuit, you should have been dealing, at least utilizing the power of your seat to bring us together through activities like the one this weekend that you conveniently left early. Filing this lawsuit that will cost all of us should have been the very last thing once all other efforts have been exhausted. Where were your mitigation efforts? I venture to say you never intended them. This has been in the works since the start of this administration. Shame on you. Furthermore, why is it that the council only found out about this suit after being notified by the media? Did you not have the courage to tell them at the retreat that we paid for this weekend? I'm sure the opportunity must have presented itself. After reading through this lawsuit, a lawsuit which you make some horrendous accusations against your colleagues, the city attorney, which I might add could possibly subject him to disciplinary actions by the state bar based upon your allegations alone, which will cause him to hire an attorney, which I have to pay for. And even our newly appointed city manager, whom I think is doing one heck of a job, given the climate that you inherited, sir. How do you now expect to be able to work with these individuals? Please tell me, if you thought it was bad before, what is it going to be like now? At this point, to bring this city, this body of leaders together, shame on you. What has been your true intentions from day one and your true feelings since the start of this year? Not only towards our elected officials, but the city of College Park as a whole. A lawsuit that claims in part false reports submitted by Councilwoman McKenzie to our city attorney, improper orders given by Councilmember Carnes and Councilmember McKenzie to Dr. Emanuel, and a host of other damning accusations that should have been properly and probably could have been worked out during the team building session this weekend or any other weekend for that matter. A lawsuit that seeks attorney's fees as well, meaning that we have to pay going and coming. Not to mention the 12 to 15 other lawsuits that we currently are defending. So I ask you, Madam Mayor, who wins in this lawsuit? Could you not have held off filing this until after talks this weekend? You filed on Friday. Could you not have done a better job at mitigating these circumstances? You have 4 years in this seat. Could you not have waited more than 4 weeks to do this? I shudder to think what this will do to our reputation, our efforts to heal, and to work together as a community, and our overall face to the public as a whole moving forward. What do you now expect? Do you expect business leaders and developers to run to the city to do business? Do you expect people to run to College Park as a place to live, a place to raise a family, and a place to become actively involved in civic duties? Two of my clients today called me who were going to build single-family units, affordable single-family units here in College Park. They told me we're out. They had several million of dollars in loans from Fannie Mae. They had the funding. They said, this is a blank show. We want nothing to do with College Park. You guys need to get your together. We are out. They were going to build 50 townhome affordable units for our citizens and people who are complaining about not having anywhere affordable to live. No more. Make no mistake, I'm not condoning any prior acts by others who have been out of character or disrespectful. What I am shining the light on is the hypocrisy that continues to flow from the head of this body. If you are truly interested in healing this city, I don't think this is the way, Madam Mayor, to go about it. Sadly enough, we will continue to be the laughing stock of the South and not the jewel that we can be. We will continue to be known for our dissension and not for our unity. Is it really worth it? I challenge everyone to read through this complaint and the 200+ pages of exhibits like I did this afternoon and ask yourself, is it really worth it? Your complaint alleges, among other things, irreparable harm if you basically don't get to say what you want to say while presiding over a meeting. Not getting into the legal merits of the claims, but I can tell you who will be irreparably harmed. The citizens of College Park, period. The citizens of College Park deserve better. You are now messing with my property values, my image as a citizen, things that directly affect me and my household. And for one, I take strong issue with that and will do everything in my power to right this wrong. What are we doing, council? What are we doing, city manager? What are we doing, city attorney? When is enough going to be enough? This is a lose-lose for everybody. I ask you again, is the risk worth the reward? The risk of burning down this house for the reward of you being able to speak on issues that you don't even have a vote on? Quote by E. Stanley Jones, a rattlesnake, if cornered, will become so angry it will bite itself. That is exactly what harboring hate and resentment against others is, a biting of oneself. We think we are harming others and holding these spites and hatred, but the deeper harm is to ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Ames?
The next individual is Mr. Kenneth Anderson, 2900 Camp Creek Parkway, lawsuit.
Your time has expired, sir. Oh, you're not finished? Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Go ahead.
No,
Go right ahead.
you're fine. I ask you, I beg you, I did not move into College Park for this. People did not come to College Park for this. Developers are leaving. People are running away. Tax dollars are going out the window. We are the shame of the South. When is enough going to be enough? And I'm not talking about things that happened in the past. Councilman Karn and Councilman Gay, you had the same right that the mayor did to file a lawsuit in federal court, but you didn't. You sat there, you took the disrespect and the disgrace. Now, I don't agree with everything you've done, but at least you had the city in mind by not putting us forefront in a federal lawsuit that will end up costing us potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in addition to the suits that we already have. I just don't see a work around this. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I am wrong, and I hope the city attorney can work and not be accused falsely of the accusation that I read and have to defend an ethics complaint by the state bar because of what your attorney has put in the complaint that you signed, an affidavit that is true and accurate. And I hope the city manager will understand, because I think you're doing one heck of a job, sir. And what we have now, God help you. My prayers are with you, because you have to help heal. This staff, this council, I have no idea what we're going to do, but I know we have to stay focused and prayed up. And I just beg you all to find some way to move us forward in City College Park.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Ames?
The next person I have is Tina Hill, Parkview Drive, to discuss lawsuit.
I was gonna yield my time, so James.
Okay. Next is Tanya Austin, Parkview, to discuss CP Climate Political.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity, and if you don't mind, I'd like to first thank the city employee that won Employee of the Month for his service, because College Park has amazing service, and I just thank you for, where is he?
He left, he's gone.
Well, thank you for all of our employees, and I appreciate everything that they do, and I have been a College Park resident for 27 years. One of the things I love most about it has been the sense of community, the services, and just the neighborhood is wonderful. So I do want to talk about climate control. In a world where we have global dissension, we have terrible political climate in this nation, and I come home and I find the same thing. I'm not happy at all, and I simply ask, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, no individual. I don't have a political agenda. I'm not buying any property, any land. I don't have a business deal. I'm simply a resident, a tax-paying resident that expects adults to get along at work. That's all I ask. Find a way to do it. Find a way to do it. The citizens of this city do not want to be embarrassed. I've been embarrassed and shamed. All of my 27 years, I've never been just so taken aback by the behavior of elected officials. It's embarrassing, and I don't want to see our city decline in leadership, government, business, quality of life. All of those things are important. All of those things are important. So I thank the clergy that brought the invocation and asked for peace. I say the same thing. We need peace. If you do know the Lord, please get on your knees and ask him to guide you. Guide you in your every decision, conversation, vote, interaction, thought. We are bigger than this. We're better than this. We are bigger than this. We are better than this. We are bigger than this. We are better than this. It's unacceptable to fight. It's unacceptable. All adults. That's what I'm talking to, adults. It's unacceptable. I'm always going to be engaged. I don't come to many council meetings I watch on that television or Facebook or whatever. I watch what's happening, and I don't like what I'm seeing. So I'm asking you all to govern with integrity, with wisdom, and with a spirit of unity. That's all I ask for the citizens of College Park.
Thank you very much. Ms. Ames?
Next, I have Barbara McKee to discuss recommendation for police officers.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council,
Good
and the
afternoon.
citizens. I'm just so happy to walk up here this evening. I've had knee surgery, and I've been going through quite a few medical issues. So I'm just happy on this evening. And I stand before you to, I also want to recognize Women History Month while I'm here, if I may. The theme for this year is Women Who Advocate for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. The theme recognizes women throughout the country who understand that for a positive future, we need to eliminate bias and discrimination entirely from our lives and institutions. Billie Jean King went on to say, and I quote, "Champions keep playing until they get it right." So I'm here tonight to say, as a woman, we will get it right one time or the other. But this afternoon, I want to focus on Saturday afternoon. As you all know, we always go, well, you don't know, my husband and I love eating at Captain D's on Main Street. So here we are driving on Saturday afternoon, And we get to on Main Street and Virginia Avenue. And there and behold, a young man sits on the edge of the bridge. My husband looks over there and he says, my goodness, that really doesn't look nice. And I says, no, because there's a road down under the bridge. And I says, well, I'm going to call the police. He says, no, we're going to just wait a minute. So I said, if he's there when I get back, we come back, I'm calling the police. So as we drove back, it was about 10 to 15 minutes maybe, there was 3 police cars there. A young lady, I think her name might have been Officer Wells, was distracting, well, not Officer Wells, Officer Dallas, maybe, was standing over to the left distracting him. And I said, oh, someone just need to go and just snatch him backwards. By that time, an officer walked up there and just pulled him backwards. Feet went up in the air, hat went off his head. And I think it might have been Officer Ike and Sergeant Snow, Sergeant Wells also. But I commend them for doing such a horrific, heroic, however you say it, job. They were very calm. They wasn't running or jumping or anything. And my husband says, no, they're trained to do this. So I commend them because I believe they saved someone's life. Now, some people say, oh, maybe he was just sitting there resting. Well, from my experience, as counseling people, he might have been just waiting for the minute to jump.
Thank
So
you.
I want a recommendation.
Your time's expired.
Yes, thank you.
I'd like to hear the rest, but I'd like to let her finish her thought.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that is unanimous. Please proceed.
Thank you. So I'm here tonight asking that the police department give them a recommendation, proclamation, or something to recognize them. And I also wanted to go in their records because we know mental illness is running rapid in our neighborhoods. And surely he just wasn't sitting there for fun. Young guy looked to be about 22, 23. Maybe they have the report. But I know within my heart that you're not sitting on a bridge with your legs hanging over, just looking down for the fun of it. You could get dizzy, you could fall over, and God forbid if a car was coming and you fell on top of a car. You messed someone else's day up, and you maybe hurt yourself very bad or them. So I asked the council to allow the police department to put something in their records to recognize them. I want to get them to get a proclamation. I don't know how you do that. HR would know and all that good stuff. But I do commend those officers for being heroes for me because I was there and I seen that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Ames?
Next is Sherry Godfrey to discuss lawsuit.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Sherry Godfrey. I reside on Lyle Avenue. I didn't know what I was going to say when I came here this evening, and listening to some of the comments, I now know what I'd like to say. And Council made a statement about olive branches and touting transparency, and I just want to say that their actions are otherwise. Ever since Council enacted the ordinance to silence the mayor, which is a big root of this discord, there's been nothing but efforts to stifle her, limit perspective and information to residents. There's nothing about preventing perspective and discussion that is transparent and encourages collaboration. As far as the retreat is concerned, if anyone wants to go back and watch the council meeting where the retreat is discussed, it's clear that the mayor didn't even know the dates of the retreat. If you're collaborating, then you would have had some conversation with her so that all parties can participate and be available. It's the impression, just watching the video, that that did not happen. In the spirit of James Walker's comments, just because you can does not mean you should. Just because you can create an ordinance silencing the mayor does not mean that you should. It is poor governance. It does not breed transparency, collaboration, critical thinking, any of those things. More information always makes you more decision makers. And I'll just add, if you want to see how council is combative against mayor, we saw that at the start of the meeting with Councilman Gay refusing to verbally state his vote on agenda items. This is for the sake of disagreement. I don't understand why you stand on your head and do that. What's the harm in verbally saying yes or no? It's one word to support or oppose. And I'll just close with this. Voting to allow more time for people to speak subjectively, it's just a subjective process. And it seems that council persons extend time for comments that are in support of their actions and their agenda and don't allow time or allow time to expire to opposing comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ames?
Next is Pamela Greer. It does not state what the topic of discussion is.
Good evening, Honorable
evening,
Mayor
Ms.
and
Althea.
Council. As I sat in the back and I've listened to the various perspectives of
I'm sorry, ma'am. Can you state your name for the record?
Althea Morris. As I sat in the back and listened to the different comments from people, I came in embarrassed. People are calling from all different cities and saying and asking, Althea, what's going on in College Park? What are you guys doing? And that is so embarrassing and frustrating. As the young lady said before, we're dealing with adults. Each and every one of you are adults. And I know majority of you sitting up there. And I am ashamed. I am ashamed and appalled at this behavior. I do think that this meeting is called Mayor and Council for a reason. And that is because the mayor should be able to speak in a mayor and council meeting. I think that it is absurd to have her sit in a meeting where she is muted and cannot speak. A lot of people were so joyous when this new council came and they said, oh, you know, we finally got an all African American and all people of color council. But I ask you guys, each and every one of you, is this what you want people to see from an all people of color governing body of the city of College Park? James Walker said it best. Shame on you. Shame on you. And I don't want to defend anyone. I'm not here to point fingers. I am here to say, as a constituent, we are looking, as your constituents, we are looking. Other people are looking. Why can't we be on the news? Because we are a great city that is getting greater, or that we have entrepreneur opportunities for people. That's what I would like the city to be known for. So when you get up here and you particularly single the mayor out for her actions, I think that's wrong. If you're going to say that this is a mess, then let everybody take their responsibility.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Ames?
Next is, I want to say Millie, can't make out the last name, of Rugby Avenue to discuss lawsuit. That's fine. Please state your name for the record.
My name is Andy Gosh, live at 2348 Rugby Avenue, and I've heard all the comments. I agree with many. Police do need recognition. We can only solve this on our knees. You're absolutely right. Only God can soften our hearts and make this happen like it needs to happen. But I don't see that. I have to agree. I mean, I guess I would start off by saying it's a sad day that one member of the government has to sue the rest for her right to speak. And if I hadn't been to the last meeting that I was able to attend, I wouldn't really have believed it myself. I saw the gavel being passed to other people, which would allow her the right to speak under the rule that you all passed. Nobody took it up. So by default, you're just denying her right to speak. And I don't understand that. The mayor, as represented her, was elected by the constituents of this city. I don't think she is suing the constituents of this city. I think she is trying to create an avenue for her to have a voice and for the city to actually go forward and function. But I don't see that out of the rest of the city council, which is bewildering in the least. So we're supposed to have a government that represents the people that it was elected to serve, no matter who voted for who. A question is, who does this council intend to serve if they are trying to quash the votes, the voices of those who voted for for the mayor? I really do not understand it. I'm hoping for a better day in College Park. We have huge opportunities in this city, but at this point, all we're seeing is infighting. And then to come up and say, after what I've seen at this last meeting, that the mayor is not cooperating, it defies logic. It sort of begs the question of, if you don't want her to speak, why not? Is there something that she says that you don't agree with? And if you don't agree with it, why were you elected in the first place if you weren't elected to debate and work for the common good? So I ask that you all, someone at least, have the moxie to pick up the gavel and let her speak. That would show that you cared about the city. Thank you much.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Ames?
And I do pray that God is watching over College Park, and all those who claim to have him in their heart truly do.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Ames?
Next is Chusilo Ajanaku to discuss lawsuit.
I'm Chisulo Akuno Ajanaku. I live at 1840 Mercer Avenue in College Park. Mayor Bianca, you're aware I had you in my home. I've supported you, still support you. There's still an opportunity to win. It is an opportunity for you to grow. It is an opportunity for you to be the best you can be. But you're costing all of us going down the same road you've been going down. It is time for change. It's all around you. It's time for you to change. I'm aware of how confident you are in your ability. I'm aware about how you work to get your way, and you've been successful. I've been trying to get over to you a new strategy. The way you're going, you're going to hurt all of us and hurt yourself. I've been trying to get the strategy to you. You can win. You can win a greater future. But the way you're going, but it's time to turn it around. You can turn it around. You can turn it around. Please, for us, turn it around. For your sake, turn it around. You can do it. You can do it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Ames?
Next, I'm gonna start on my email comments. The first comment is from Pastor Marjorie Dent, and it reads, "To Madam Mayor, council members, and city manager, there is no way to adequately thank you for your service to the city, for all the time you dedicate to focusing on the issues and meeting with residents. You spend countless hours preparing for council meetings, presiding during the city council meetings, and countless hours at public events. Here's a special reason I thank you. Thank you for hearing our request for an increase in salary for College Park police officers. You did it. I would like to add, it is more than money. Value is restored, honor is restored, and respect is restored. I can have more peace of mind. Our community will be safer and more officers will join our elite police department. Again, thank you for granting our request. May the Lord bless you and keep you." The next comment is from Dee Dee Palmer, and it reads, "Greetings. Please explain the roadblocks and stop signs entering and exiting the 6 West area, Camp Creek Parkway, and the street next to the golf course and sanitation department. Is there a reason we cannot walk and drive through this area? Are there plans by the city to clean up and make over, beautify, remodel the entrance of Rugby Avenue along Washington Avenue? Unkept trees and debris and trash are a constant on this part of Rugby Avenue. Lastly, what needs to be done to complete a sidewalk on West Rugby Avenue? Respectfully." The next comment is from Chris Reed. Actually, this should be read during his item on the agenda. This is for a special event, so I'm going to skip that one. The next comment is Tom Coleman, and it reads, "Dear Mayor and Council, I note with concern last meeting's move to transfer Bill Evans' ball field to BIDA. As there was no explanatory comment at the time, it can only be assumed that this is for conversion of the field for commercial development, that being the purpose of the Building and Industrial Development Authority. Bill Evans Field is well utilized, most notably by teams of the schools of the Atlantic University Complex. I have also seen tournaments and Woodward use this as well. The removal of this recreational asset should not be done without a suitable replacement nailed down before a transfer of the facility to a private entity. Might I suggest, in their wisdom, Mayor and Council and BIDA stipulate that as part of any sale, acquiring the entity fully fund the construction of an equivalent ballpark or property similar suited near the centers of our city. Either 6 West or perhaps Jamestown might be candidates. As I understand it, the Marquise Grissom organization stood by to financially support the enhancement of Bill Evans Field for the use by HBCUs. The sale of Bill Evans instead of its enhancement, along with the cancellation of the externally subsidized Flint River Headwaters Park, marks the second time in as many as months that the city has rejected outside private offers to help revitalize our recreational facilities. If we keep thumbing our noses at people trying to help us, you can reasonably assume the offers will stop. Thank you for considering these issues." The next comment is from Susan Coleman, and it reads, "Hello, Madam Mayor and Council. It seemed hopeful that you were trying to work out some personality issues with this governance this past weekend. The retreat a good remedy. While I wouldn't agree with Lake Lanier being the location, a retreat nevertheless was a good idea. However, I'm writing tonight to say that I stand this mayor 100. This mayor has been a wonderful, progressive, and thoughtful leader. Why the need to limit her voice is baffling us in this city. I hope with the new members coming aboard, the continued work for development that would allow us to shine as city would continue. But that has been the furthest from the truth. The time has stopped. Would you guys like me to
I'd like to
continue?
make a motion to continue reading the emails, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. A second by Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Okay. Let me one last thing. Why the need to limit her voice is baffling us in this city. I hope with the new members coming aboard, the city continue work for development that will allow us to shine as city will continue. But that has been the furthest from the truth. We are falling behind on our counterparts, Hateville, East Point, and Fairburn. We are doing so because we have a few council members who for some reason appears to have a personal dislike for the mayor. She was doing the job before, so why now the sudden need to silence her voice? Instead of this infighting, we should be passing developments in the line of the Flint River collaboration, but instead we voted the major project down for a park. We should be hearing about what is happening with Mercer on Main. 6 West, what is really happening? What new is coming to our Main Street? Some possibly of making College Park connect. So this idea of them against us can vanish. Possibly building a trail or golf cart parkway to allow connectivity and more green space. Anything that can make us all one community and grown. Allowing ADUs because we know housing, especially affordable housing, is a big concern in the metro area. Instead, we are wasting time with nonsense and negativity. We can do better than this. Remember, this council seat isn't yours, it's the citizens. The next comment is from Demetrius Taylor, and it reads, Salutations, Mayor and Council. I'm Demetrius Taylor of the Embarcadero Club Apartments in Ward 2. You know I stand in saying I'm not the voice of the people, I am the people. On this day, March 4th, 2024, my 54th birthday, I'm compelled to send this because I am bewitched, bothered, and bewildered by this new lawsuit that the mayor has filed against the city of College Park. The city you say The city you say is the city in which we deserve. As a practicing attorney yourself, Ms. Mayor Bianca Motley Broom, you know how much time and effort these kinds of proceedings take, and you know how much these kinds of proceedings cost. You have been hounding the budget and wanting to make sure the city is not doing these frivolous things to upset it, and now you go on and sue the very city you claim that you want to protect. This stunt is one of pure ego and retaliation, and I won't stand for it. You had ample opportunity to take care of this through our city attorney in executive session and even at the retreat. A retreat designed to get everyone functioning cohesively and communicating better with one another, in particular, council with you. And you told us in your newsletter that you were not going to stay for the entire retreat because you have family obligations. And yet, you want us to trust your judgment and your insight to handling things. When you campaigned initially, you told us how you know how to bring people together. You said you know how to work through adversarial issues and know how to make tough decisions. But this stunt demonstrates that you are not as adept in that skill as you led us to believe. I will defend you when you are right, and when I did, my comments were redacted per the city attorney. But I sent each of you a copy of my comments. But like anything else, when you are wrong, you are wrong. And this lawsuit is unnecessary and is wrong. This is definitely not budgeted, and the citizens do not have any more fuel to put on this internal fighting that we all thought would be relieved with this retreat that you didn't complete. I am disappointed that your newsletter is used as to gaslight the citizens and keep controversy going, all in the name of you being, quote, unquoted, silenced. This is a travesty, and you have the power to keep this from becoming the fiasco everyone has put on the new council. You, ma'am, seem to be the ringleader in this circus, and you are manipulating the citizens into this fury. Everyone needs to get this together so we can move forward. We have a city to run. And my last comment is from Celeste Jefferson, and it reads, Good evening, Mayor and Council. I think the mayor's lawsuit against the city is a detriment and waste of time and resources utilized to defend this prosperous case. The current council's approval ordinance is in accordance with the conduct and facilitation of our city's charter. The city's charter does not silence the mayor. It actually enforces the mayor to act as governess and steward of the city, city hall, and other boards. It has never condoned the mayor to deliberate during the council meetings. The mayor has created a culture to deliberate and micromanage the prior meetings. I commend our new council for their due diligence to act accordingly and enforce the terms and conditions performance of the city's charter. Therefore, I think the mayor, you are being defiant, manipulative, and gaslighting our citizens into believing the council is trying to silence you, which is a lie. It's time for you to stop your lack of professional maturity, improve your leadership, and act with integrity, and stop this nonsense of delaying the performance of the council meetings to perform efficiently without interruption and embarrassment. Let's get to managing the city's business to improve the infrastructure and development of our city, to increase the quality of life for all residents, employees, and governing bodies to thrive to live, work, play within the city of College Park. Being team-oriented, accepting constructive criticism, being cooperative and collaborative is how we all work together to build the city we so desperately deserve. Thank you for all of your attention, time, and service to resolve this matter. That's it.
Thank you very much. And we will go ahead and move forward with, got a public hearing.
One second.
Actually, it's a request to set a date for a public hearing, not the actual public hearing.
Request to set the public hearing date for consideration of an action on a conditional use permit application at 2539 Sullivan Road, Parcel ID 130036 LL 1240 in Ward 2, to allow for a private transloading metal recycling facility serving Georgia Power.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Councilmember McKenzie, what did you vote?
Aye.
Okay, all right, that is unanimous.
The next item is consideration of approval of the 2024 federal legislative priorities for formal submittal to the Federal Delegation via a resolution. This item is requested by Airport and Governmental Affairs Director Brecca Carter.
Good evening. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second with
Thank
discussion.
you, Councilmember Carn. All right, discussion. Councilmember Gay?
I would like to hear from these ladies at this time.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
I believe it was Councilmember Carn. I may have gotten that wrong.
I think I heard him, but I heard you say Carn.
I
Was
think
it
everybody wanted to second it.
Okay.
I think Councilmember Carn was the person I
Okay,
heard.
thank you.
Wait, what'd you say? Oh, the second, okay. 'Cause I moved.
I heard gay, but.
Okay.
I just,
I thought I heard Councilmember Carn. Did you second as well, sir?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I mean, I heard you,
okay,
so.
got you. Thank you.
We did it contemporaneously.
Doesn't make a difference, whoever.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So the federal agenda before you is months of going back and forth, talking to our federal lobbyists. I have Jennifer Emo here, who is our federal lobbyist with the Ferguson Group. And we've kind of gone back and forth, making sure we connect the strategic plan goals to what we're looking for federal dollars and things like that. So you have a number of things dealing with quality of life, local economy and growth, transportation, mobility, and so on. We are bringing this before you as a precursor to our meeting with our federal delegation, which is scheduled for Thursday in Washington, D.C., where we'll present to our 4 delegation members what we'd like to move forward and for them to advance for the city of College Park.
I don't know if you wanted to go through any of it, but I did want to let you know that just yesterday afternoon, congressional leadership actually released 6 appropriations bills, final appropriations bills, with the tables that included the earmarks in each of those bills. Included was $959,752 for 959,752 for the water storage tank and booster station. So, and then 500,000 for finding the Flint. In order to avoid a partial government shutdown, the Congress has to pass these bills into law by Friday, which frankly we expect to happen. And just so you know, those two projects are in the final lists. So congratulations to you all on that. We have spent a lot of time also, in addition to kind of mapping out what your federal agenda looks like, identifying projects that we can submit for funding in the next fiscal year. So the fiscal year 2025 appropriations process, we already have deadlines that are upcoming at the end of March. So we'll look forward to finalizing the projects for which we can submit congressional funding requests.
All right, any further discussion?
I had a couple of things.
Councilmember Carn, go right ahead.
And Jennifer, it's good to see you.
Nice to see you too, thank you.
We're excited as always to be having you all take us up to the hill, so to speak.
Good.
You know, I've probably been up there more than anybody, and in particular this year, you know, I wanted to make sure we all got on the same page in terms of the point person up here in terms of the elected officials. Now, obviously, every year you know, you quarterback the thing since we hired a federal lobbyist. Most of the time, Jack led the delegation in terms of leading the charge in what we wanted. There were a few times when I carried the ball. This year, I'm recommending maybe we have one of our new council members in terms of 5 of us, you know, it's hard, 5 people talking at once, more or less, and we want to make sure we get our message clear. And I would suggest one of our new council members kind of put some fresh perspective on this thing, since, again, we're starting with a new government. 50% of our government is new, and so that's my recommendation in terms of while we're up there. That again, your point, of course, that's what we hire you for, but amongst us, we want to make sure we're on the same page. So that's my suggestion. Council members, if I don't know which one of you all would be interested, but that would be my suggestion.
I'd like to talk.
Again, yeah, that would be my suggestion. I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on that.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I would do it. I don't know if Councilwoman Arnold wants to, but.
I don't. If you want to, you can.
Okay.
Okay, well, with that, do we need to make a motion on that, or is that just a consensus? If that's okay with everyone, that, again, you know, in light of things going on here, I don't want us to go up there and get off on the wrong page. Obviously.
Sure. And what I would recommend is what we typically do is I draft talking points, which I would like for, you know, you all to review, and it's on, I mean, you all, you know, determine who's going to be the voice. I think a lot of times too, what we've done is sort of outline our like overall strategy. And then if it's a project that you want to focus on that's of particular interest to an individual member, like, you know, we talked about, you know, that's why you would take the reins on certain projects, then that also makes sense. However you all decide to do it is how we will do it. But again, I will provide talking points. We'll just need to make sure that, you know, the issues that we are discussing and the projects we are discussing are the ones that, you know, the full, you know, mayor and council are supportive of.
Well, this agenda looks good, and I know you're going to keep us in line with the talking points. So I make a motion that Councilmember McKenzie kind of lead the charge in terms of spokesperson for the DC trip.
Councilman Carn, there's already a motion on the floor.
Oh, well, in addition to that,
approve the
that's my
legislative
caveat to it, to approve the legislative agenda with the caveat of our spokesperson being.
Can we do that first?
Council. It's just it's a friendly amendment on that, on my motion.
Okay, so Councilwoman McKenzie will have to make that amendment.
An approval of the agenda.
Okay, so then I would like to make the amendment that we will approve the legislative, and we will continue, well, what I've already said, in addition, that I will be the spokesperson.
And you accept that friendly amendment, Councilman Carn?
I do.
I'd like to discuss, so if Mayor Pro Tem would take the gavel?
Before that, we have a motion. Was it second?
Yes, yes.
Can we call the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, the motion passed. Ma'am, you have a safe trip back.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Jennifer.
Nice to see you all. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday.
All right, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is consideration of an action on a request from Grady Health Foundation to host Rules of the Road fundraiser bike ride on April 27, 2024, from 7:30 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. A portion of this bike course is within the City of College Park city limits. This is being requested through the City Clerk's office.
Motion.
Second.
Councilmember Carn has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous.
Next is consideration of an action on a request to approve invoice from Proof of the Pudding at the Georgia International Convention Center for the Police Department's 16th Annual Valentine's Senior Social in the amount of $23,356.50. This is a budgeted item.
Is there a motion?
So,
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
aye.
Is that a second, Councilmember McKenzie?
Yes, I said aye. Yes.
Okay,
I
all right. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous.
Next is consideration of an action on a request for approval of Resolution No. 2024-03, amending the budget for fiscal year 2024 for the general fund, special revenue funds, and enterprise funds. This item is being requested by Althea Philord-Bradley.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion?
I have a discussion.
Councilmember Gay, go right ahead.
Is this motion tonight to amend, to approve the amended budget, mid-year amended budget?
The current year budget, which we're in fiscal year 2023, 2024.
I'm talking about the items that we wanted to amend it that was on the agenda in December.
No. These are items that were actions that were previously taken by council, but we did not appropriate the budgets for them. They're just a few items that were not previously approved by budget that I am recommending.
Can you tell me what they are publicly?
The items that weren't previously approved by you?
Yes.
Okay, the two items, it would be the City Hall controls upgrade HVAC unit
Okay.
for $54,000.
Okay.
The mobile computers for inspection, that's a newly requested item. And the building inspector position, even though it existed, we did not budget for it in 2023, 2024, and we hired the personnel, so that needs to be budgeted for. In addition, there's $5.5 million in most tax funding that we received this year. I am budgeting for that. We have the funds. I'm just budgeting for that.
To be put in the budget.
Yes.
Okay.
And that goes into water and sewer for sewer improvements.
Okay.
And I believe that's the only items that weren't previously discussed.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous.
Thank you.
Next is consideration of an action on Resolution No. 2024-04 to impose a 1% municipal option sales tax within the city and to direct the municipal superintendent to call a special election for the purpose of submitting the question on the imposition of the tax to the voters of College Park.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you,
Second.
Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Councilmember Carn, I apologize. Okay, thank you. All right, so that is unanimous as well.
Next is consideration of an action for approval to the proposed mayor and city council departmental budget meeting schedule for fiscal year 2024-2025, as well as an opportunity for general policy direction by elected leadership.
I wanted to make a correction on that calendar. April 23rd, 2024 shows up as, I believe, a Monday. It's actually a Tuesday. And April 24th shows up as a Tuesday, and it's actually a Wednesday. That's the only two corrections I have. But the dates remain the same.
Is there a motion?
Well, motion with discussion.
Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Councilmember Carn, go right ahead.
There's an outside chance that I may be out of town, actually, potentially out of the country on the 23rd and 24th. If there was any way, I'm looking at the first meeting, April 10th, and the window between the 10th and the 16th. If there was any way that we could fit those two meetings anywhere in between those 7 days, I'd really appreciate it, as I don't want to miss any of the budget sessions, especially this year.
We can pull this back and check back with the executive assistants and bringing it back to the next meeting if you would like, so we can.
Well, I would appreciate it if we can fit some in between that slot. I mean, that's the largest slot, and then there's some space between the 18th and 23rd. But whatever works with everybody's schedule, just the last two sessions, if we could move those back, I would appreciate that.
Question.
If it's not too much trouble.
Councilmember McKenzie, go right ahead.
Althea, is there any kind of stipulation that this has to be published a certain amount of time in advance, these hearings?
Well, he's not going beyond the April 24th date, so long as before the April 24th date that we can fit these two meetings in.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
With the modification.
We haven't set modifications, so.
I'll bring it back at the
Okay.
next meeting, the March 19th meeting, if that's okay.
Well, my motion would be with whatever modifications that work for everyone. So
Okay.
we're clear that we're not passing these exact dates necessarily.
Who made the motion and who second?
I made the motion.
He made the motion.
So we're not approving this schedule, we're just approving a general.
This schedule with a modification, pending everyone's schedule.
Right.
What works, yes.
Councilmember Carn, do you want to withdraw the motion so we can bring it back with dates that work for everyone?
No, I'd like to pass this again, just with the modification of adjusting those two dates commensurate with whatever works with everyone's schedule. That's what I'd like to do.
So point of clarification, so basically what?
Councilmember McKenzie, go right ahead.
Yes. So basically, we're saying the first date, I guess the first two dates are fine, but those last dates would need to be, so we can approve the first.
Four dates.
First 4 dates?
Right, yeah.
Okay, the first 4 dates, but we just have to determine the other
Yeah,
two.
that
Okay,
makes sense.
all right.
That works too.
So, could you state your motion one more time, Councilmember Carn?
Well, I'll modify my motion to approve the first 4 dates and find somewhere within those dates to accommodate the last 2 dates, pending everyone's schedule.
So we're just modifying the last 2 dates.
Yes.
And Councilmember McKenzie, does your second still stand?
Yes, it does. Yeah,
All
that's
right,
fine.
any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
Councilmember Carn, where's your vote? Are you in favor?
I said aye.
Thank you. All right, so
And
that is
thank
unanimous.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Althea.
Next is consideration of an action to adopt ordinance number 2024-05, adopting regulations concerning the boarding of windows and doors. This is being requested by Marcus Robinson, Chief Building Inspector.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion?
Yes.
Councilmember Ye?
Can you talk a little bit about the great ordinance that you proposed, please?
Good evening. This ordinance is in reflection to what we probably see within the city. You see board ups for a long extended period of time, sometimes years. And so this ordinance will end that. And this will allow for the residents or owners who have those particular structures to actually repair, replace those particular doors or windows so that safety is paramount. And so when you have board ups, windows and doors, you have a fire safety issue. You have a nuisance ordinance, nuisance abatement issue as well, where, you know, crime, incidents could happen behind closed doors. Kids can go inside there, homeless can live in there. And so this ordinance will put a stop to that. And it will put limitations on board up windows and doors to preserve safety.
Director Robinson, I would also like to say that that's state law, and it's been state law for some time, that derelict properties shall be boarded. There's an incident where a person was killed and occurred in the house, and the property owner was sued. So if the property owner is negligent, obviously the liability could go to the city, so that's a good call. And then other thing I would like for you to consider while we have you here is to maybe look at an ordinance that talk about vacant properties. We don't maintain a vacant property list. That'll give you better tools to enforce.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to hand over the gavel to the Mayor Pro Tem.
Madam Mayor, we at retreat, we all, including yourself, we talked about the passing of the gavel. Now, there's an opportunity for each elected official to speak as long as they want towards the end of this meeting. And that'll be shortly, I hope. So I don't want to use my title that took me 8 years to get just to be, you know, used to have when there's an opportunity to speak. I also want to say that, you know, I'm very excited about the job we're doing tonight. Everybody's being professional. Just the city manager, great agenda, with the exception of those minutes. So, Madam Mayor, if you don't mind, I'm going to deny taking the gavel, but I look forward to hearing your comments during your speak when you talk to us tonight.
Councilmember Arnold, I'd like to pass the gavel.
No.
Councilmember Kern,
I have a comment.
will you accept the gavel?
No, thank you. I do have a comment.
Okay, well, hold on, let me
Discussion.
ask Councilmember McKenzie if she would accept the gavel, so I may speak.
Well, Mayor, in accordance with case 1-24-CV00937 that has been filed against this council, I will not respond to that.
So do you accept the gavel or no?
I would not respond.
Okay, all right.
I have comments.
Councilmember Kern, go right ahead.
Thank you. I think this city is making progress. Politics is sometimes messy and whatever have you, but we had a good retreat, and we definitely made a commitment to communicate better with each other. And one of those communication facets that I think we pretty much gathered a consensus on was that we understand that the city council does set policy. The mayor, she convenes and presides over deliberations. But we also suggested that we communicate with each other more, and we are hoping that the mayor's going to be reaching out to us more.
Councilmember, I would ask.
I have the floor. If
I
can
understand,
please,
sir, but
respectfully, if I can continue.
however, your comments are out of order in that Robert's Rules 4-30 indicates that the debate must be confined to the merits of the pending question, and the pending question is the Ordinance 2024-05. So I would ask that you keep your debate defined to the merits of the pending motion.
Thank you. my comments are defined directly to this agenda item. What we said we would do is that when the mayor wanted to have discussion, that she reach out to her council member and have that discussion, and we would incorporate that into the discussion of what we're doing to make sure that everybody's voice up here is heard. Now, I can't pretend to be mayor or take the position of mayor, and I'm going to stay in my lane.
And so I would ask
we know
again
that,
if you would pertain your comments to 4-30, which is actually this ordinance 2024-05. Thank you, sir.
Pertaining to comments about the doors and boarded up windows, yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. When we do have comments, if we're not part of the council, we want to make sure that we relay those comments to the proper council member so that we can all be able to voice our opinions and communicate effectively and communicate in the proper manner that we're supposed to all communicate up here. So I just wanted to mention that, and I'm hoping we can make sure we start communicating so that those issues and discussion can be taken care of and answered and included. So,
Any further discussion?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor? Thank you. That is unanimous.
Next is consideration of an action on a request to approve on-demand contractor, Kemi Construction, to install 160 feet of 18-inch HDPE Storm Sewer Pipe. This pipe will discharge into the creek bed on Frontage Road, aiming to prevent flooding at the intersection of Potomac Drive and Camp Creek Parkway. This is being requested by Highway Streets and Storm Water Superintendent Raymond Cotton. This request will support drainage issues within Ward 2. This is a budgeted item.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second with discussion.
Thank you, Councilmember Gate. Go right ahead.
Director and interim city manager, a couple quick questions.
Sure.
I should know this, but where's Potomac Drive?
Right there in front of, I believe, 2800 Camp Creek. You know,
Please,
right once you cross the bridge.
Okay, is this down near where that large Camp Creek bridge is?
Yes, sir.
So this storm water drain is gonna prevent, so they're gonna feed it from the storm water drain?
There's no, currently, when the bridge was built, they didn't put any drainage there.
In the bridge?
Yes, it's a bridge.
I know the bridge.
Yes, so no drain was put there when the bridge was built. So whenever it rains, I mean, it's flooding all over from 2800 all the way to Camp Creek. You're talking about sometimes 4 or 5 inches of water, rainwater. So this project here will put a drainage there that will, move the water from ponding and, take it down into the creek.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, so
Councilmember McKenzie, go right ahead.
basically, Dr. Emanuel, with this particular agenda item, we had a little discrepancy. One, in our packet, on the first page, it mentioned that the cost for this would be $14,000, but then actually the invoice reflected $42,000. What is the amount for this repair?
The executive assistant made a mistake by listing it at $14,850. The actual cost for doing this project is $42,650.
Okay, and is that amount still budgeted as well?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, that's all. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I have one other question.
Councilmember Kay, go right ahead.
I understand that when it rained, that's an opportunity to see flooding, but I'm just curious, that was a lot of money spent on that bridge. And just, why didn't GDOT and the other civil engineers identify drainage from, not just on the bridge, but the Potomac, why didn't they identify the drain? Why wasn't that done at the time when the bridge was built?
I can answer that, sir. That was way before my time. I'm just trying to make right what was made wrong.
And would this also be eligible use of the most monies that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That the 500,000 is in the most account?
5 million.
5 million?
Yes.
5 million?
5.5.
Jeez.
Get everything finished.
So one last question.
Yes, sir.
And I apologize to to the mayor and colleagues, because I don't want to get out of Robert Rules of Order, but hey, so if a resident has the exact same problem, that there was no stormwater drains put in any proximity of their home, and if their homes are flooded from stormwater, from the street, then would they too be eligible to have us come out and put the proper drainage?
If it's on the city property, but not on private property.
Let me ask the question again. You know, we have stormwater drain all over our city where the drain goes through residents' property. We have easements.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes we create easements when we identify new problems. So my question then would be, we would have to get an easement from the homeowner, but we do have the ability to control our stormwater, correct?
If it's in the main city right away, yes, but we don't go on any private property to do any,
Mr. Denmark?
If we have an easement over or on private property, we have both the right and the duty to maintain our easement. So we have our pipe going through private property. And sometimes, you're right, sometimes we do that. But then we can't let it fall into disrepair such that it will cause a flooding issue on the property. So we would have a duty to maintain our infrastructure on private property pursuant to our easement.
So just a little bit of clarification. He said, I asked him, why didn't GDOT, and I apologize, why did GDOT not identify this when they built it? He said he don't know. So my question is this. On Janice Drive,
okay,
there are 4 homes that flood. And when the previous public work director and I and Raymond visited the home,
yes, sir.
they said at that time they didn't put the proper stormwater drains. So my question is, if that homeowners or those homeowners gave us an easement through their property, could we control our stormwater through their property as you're doing with this project, City Attorney?
Obviously, we would, if we independently determined that we needed an easement through their property in order to maintain our stormwater infrastructure, we could do that, but obviously we could not put it through their property for the purpose of benefiting those homeowners to alleviate their flooding problem.
Even though if the flooding is coming from our street, not flooding that coming from rooftops or hillsides. I'm saying, ma'am, I got to get through this because this is something that those
Sir,
homeowners.
I understand, but this is off of this particular issue, and we do need to have debate germane to this particular topic. And
That's fair. We'll have we'll talk about it in legal review.
Okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any further discussion on item 7H or 8H? I apologize.
And one correction, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
This item is funded by the Stormwater Fund, not most, I misstated. It's Stormwater Fund, and we have, money in the stormwater.
Thank you.
Yes.
Councilmember Arnold?
I just wanted to make sure that the motion included the adjusted amount.
Good
Right,
catch.
because right
Good
now,
catch. Yes.
right now it's the 14,850, and we just need to make sure that it is stating the appropriate amount.
Councilmember McKenzie, are you amenable to that?
Yes, I am.
All right. And I don't recall who seconded.
It was Councilman Gay.
Okay, all right. You're okay with that?
Sure.
All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. That is unanimous.
The next item is consideration of an action on a request to approve payment of the emergency insert 12-inch valve in the amount of $39,025, utilizing our on-demand contractor, Kemi Construction, Inc., at Jefferson Street and Columbia Avenue. This affects Ward 3. This is a budgeted item.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous.
The next item is consideration of an action on a request to approve the emergency insert 12-inch valve in the amount of $88,875, utilizing our on-demand contractor, Kemi Construction, Inc., at Temple Avenue and Lee Street. This is in Ward 3, and this is a budgeted item.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion?
Discussion.
Councilmember Gay?
Oh, I obviously feel that you got to do this, but I'm just curious, why, I sit up here a lot, why tonight are we getting all these water and sewer? Have we had these problems that all of a sudden, since we were here last, you've known about this? I mean, this is 4 water and sewer projects tonight, so.
Well, both of the project was an emergency. We shut all the valves off and still can't get a kill. And we were losing water, to the point that our tank was dropping. So we called both the on-demands out, and Kim was the only one who was able to get the contract to come out and insert a valve. So we inserted a valve on the right side and the left side to get a kill.
Well, I wasn't so much talking about this one, I'm just a lot of water and sewer projects tonight. I was just asking.
Councilmember Carn? Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize, Councilmember
I just
Gay.
thought maybe we were putting them all in tonight.
No,
I don't normally see these many projects. I get the valve, I get that. I was following the email thread.
Mayor Pro Tem, 1 was stormwater and 2 were emergency, water issue.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Councilmember Carn?
Well, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
it.
Thank you. That is unanimous.
Next is consideration of an action on a request to pay JWC Environmental for an emergency purchase of 2 muffin monsters. This equipment was purchased in June and July of 2023 under the direction of Jackson Myers, interim director. This is being requested by Water and Sewer. This affects all wards. This is a budgeted item.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion?
I just say it's always, no
Councilmember Carn?
discussion, I see it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous.
The next item is consideration of an action on a request to select a voting delegate for consideration of 3 statewide Georgia Opioid Settlement Advisory Commission members, GOSAC, and Regional Advisory Council, RAC, members. This is being requested by Interim City Manager, Dr. Emmanuel Adedarian.
Is there a motion?
I would like to make a motion that Joe Carn be selected as the delegate for this advisory delegate for this.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
The next item is 8M, which is an add-on item. Notes here. This is discussion of the Flint River Headwaters MARTA contract.
This is a discussion item, so if there is discussion, Councilmember McKenzie, you added it?
Yes, I'm just going to leave the discussion. I know that there will be probably a motion required. This council did vote to terminate the contract with MARTA for the Flint River property. Since that time, we have now been informed by our federal legislative body or members, and Ms. Jennifer's here as well, and Brecca's been working on it, David Scott's office, that there are funds in the amount of $500,000 that are being granted to the city of College Park for this particular project. I know that at the time, my colleagues were concerned about the spending of general fund monies towards this project. This is a project that the members of my community, my ward, is very important to them, but I believe that this is also a project that is going to be very beneficial for us as a city and the community around us. The Atlanta Regional Commission is involved in this. Aerotropolis is involved in this. This river runs over 300 miles through the state of Georgia, and the project is a wonderful project. So at this time, I just wanted to share some words of discussion and leave this in the hands of my colleagues.
Any further discussion? All right. Okay.
Are you making a motion?
I can't make the motion
No,
because
I-
I didn't vote. I'm the only one that voted in favor. You all voted against. You wanted to have the contract. So MARTA, so basically what happened is the contract with MARTA for $218,000 was terminated by this body. And so that is what I want to kind of hear from the council. Now that we know that we have funds, what is your pleasure?
I'd make a motion for reconsideration. To accept that funding and to re-engage MARTA regarding the property.
I second.
Okay, Councilmember Carr made the motion, Councilmember Arnold seconded. Is there discussion? Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to hand the gavel to you so I may discuss.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Thanks. So I do want to be clear because the Flint River project and this request for appropriation actually started last year. And last March that we made this request to Congressman Scott and other members of our delegation. And that has been a slow process because of what happens in Washington. And so this is not $500,000 that just appeared. This is something that we have been working on and asking for since last March, and it's gone through committee. It has been something that has been on the table as Congress has been struggling with their own issues. And so it was never off the table. It was just simply we were waiting for DC to sort of get out of their holding pattern. And this is something that I appreciate that Ms. Emo has kept us abreast of from the start when we made that request into the summer and as we continued to move forward. So I'm thrilled to hear that that funding may come to fruition at the conclusion of the week. But I do want everyone to understand that this is something that has been in process for the better part of a year at this point.
Mayor Pro Tem, may I?
You have the floor.
Yes. When the council decided to cancel this project with funding, you can have all the funding in the world, but if we don't have that piece of property, it cannot be done. When the council voted to terminate the contract with MARTA, David Scott's office was also looking at no longer applying those funds to the city of College Park. I spoke with David Scott's office and several other persons and let them know that please do not take this off of your agenda. Do not remove this. So I do hear what is being said regarding this project that has been in the works for several years, but it almost fell apart. And so I want to make it clear and very clear that it required the intervention of this council and this governing body at this late stage in the game to ensure that we would be the recipients of funds that we had fought hard to receive last year.
Would
Mayor Pro
anyone
Tem?
else care to speak?
Yes, sir. I would care to speak.
Councilwoman Arnold, you sure? Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Sir, may I inquire of Ms. Emo?
Sure. Ms. Emo, would you please step down?
Hi, Ms. Emo.
Hello.
Can you just sort of, can you just sort of talk a little bit about the process by which we get funding requests? Because I know certainly after this body made that decision, I certainly reached out to Congressman Scott's office and asked if we could, what the status of that was, and certainly we were. I mean, it's still in the process, correct? Did it ever fall off the table at any point in regards to the appropriations process?
No, it never, I mean, the issue was, were you going to accept the money or not?
Right.
At that, I mean, so and again, and we spoke about this earlier today, each House member gets 15 requests. This is a particular account that is extremely competitive. And so we were very fortunate to get this project advanced through the appropriations process. And so it was included in the final House passed bill. And then, as they conferenced the two bills, it remained in those bills. So what we weren't sure is, when we saw the bills that came out, I've not seen at this stage in the game a situation where an earmark's been pulled. It's been a community decides not to use it, and then you have to kind of deal with the consequences there.
Yes, and that's what happened, Ms. Jennifer, that I was contacted by David Scott's office the day after the contract was canceled, and I was asked, do you want us to keep this on? Because I was one of the one that voted.
Sure.
I was the one that had the vote. And so they were leaving this on if I said yes. And that's why I said yes, and let's work to make sure that we can get this done. So that is, we were informed that this could be taken off, that it could be removed.
Ms. Emo, I'm so glad that Representative Scott's office reached out after I asked them to. But
See, this is the Mayor Pro Tem. May I, please? This is the kind of thing that is going on now. We're in a this is getting ugly.
All right, so the discussion's over. We had a motion. You made a motion, Councilwoman McKenzie?
Yes, I didn't make the motion.
You made the motion.
Councilman Carn made the motion.
And who seconded? You seconded? Motion made and seconded. Motion passed.
We need to vote.
Call for the vote.
Those in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Motion passed. Madam Mayor, you may have the gavel back.
Thank you, sir.
Next is City Attorney's report.
Nothing this evening.
Next is City Manager's report.
None.
That's exactly.
Next is report of Mayor and Council, starting with Mayor Motley Broom.
All right, so I do want to talk a little bit more about that Flint River project, because I want to thank my colleagues for reconsidering it. I don't think we should have ever gotten rid of it in the first place, because it is a really vitally important project for our entire region. And as Councilmember McKenzie said, it is something that we should all be doing because it is the right thing to do. And I certainly agree with her sentiments on that. And I do want to thank Congressman Scott's office, because I did reach out. I was concerned about this, and I appreciate his office reaching out to my colleagues to help them talk about this and think through this so we could keep on working on this project. I also wanted to thank all the leaders in Clayton County who got together for the Women Around Our Region Luncheon. It celebrated the 5 Black female mayors of Clayton County, including Mayor Wynn Dixon of Riverdale, who is our champion, our trailblazer, and just a phenomenal, outstanding leader. Mayor Angeline Butler from Forest Park, Mayor Dr. Danya Sartor from Jonesboro, and Mayor Marcy Fluellen of Lovejoy. We were joined by Anna Roach of the Atlanta Regional Commission, and who is also the CEO and the Executive Director of the Atlanta Regional Commission. And it is just nothing but a joy to get together to celebrate that. And it was a truly special event. And I just want to thank everybody for all of that. I also want to thank Ricky McKenzie. He had a Meet the Mayors forum last week, and we had 8 Black female mayors to close out Black History Month who were the first in their communities. We had Mayor Burks of Clarkston, Mayor Robinson of Douglasville, Mayor Butler of Forest Park, and Mayor Fluellen of Lovejoy, Mayor Dr. Sartor of Jonesboro, Mayor Vincent of McDonough, and Mayor Thomas Smith of Palmetto, and myself. It was such a wonderful conversation, and an excellent opportunity that we're going to build on, because the camaraderie and the support from everyone was contagious, and it was just a fantastic event. And I want to thank Councilmember Karn for attending. Appreciated that as well. Last Thursday was crossover day. Unfortunately, Senate Bill 16, which we have been looking at pretty closely in regard to emergency medical services and the ability to take people with our units to the hospital, did not cross over, unfortunately, but we are still in talks. They are doing a pilot program in a couple of rural counties in the state that may move the needle on that particular issue, and we will keep focused on these last few weeks of the legislative session as certain bills are on the horizon. There's still some homestead issues to take a look at, and some taxation issues that could directly impact the city of College Park. My next one-on-one is March 19th. If you'd like to sit down and chat, you can call 404-669-3755 for your spot. I want to encourage everyone, we've still got early voting through March 8th. You can find out your voting location at mvp.sos.ga.gov, or if you are a resident of our great city, you can go to votecollegepark.com. Is that right, Ms. Ames? That is the website?
Vote College Park, yes.
That's right. All right, so if you have a rising 9th, 10th, or 11th grader, the Promise Career Institute will be kicking off this fall right on the other side of our lawn here. They are investing $40 million in that building. It is one of the most innovative schools in the entire region, and it's being built right here in College Park. There are spaces that are somewhat limited for rising 9th graders, but 10th and 11th graders are encouraged to send in their applications soon. If you need more information, you can go to fultonschools.org/PCI. Again, that's fultonschools.org/PCI. Our College Park Main Street Association is doing their annual wine stroll and live music on March 14th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tickets are $30. You can go to the CPMSA website and learn more. And we are certainly grateful to Ms. Frances Kennedy and all the work that she does with Keep College Park Beautiful. She is celebrating the first year of Keep College Park Beautiful at the golf course on March 9th from 4 to 8. It is called Tea Time, but not T-E-E, it's T-E-A time. The drink, not golfing. And if you would like to attend, you need to RSVP by March 6th. To fkennedy@collegeparkga.com. Again, that's fkennedy@collegeparkga.com. Tomorrow night's Skyhawks game is free to College Park residents. So take this opportunity and see some of the best basketball on the South Side. Would love to see you at the arena. If you go to cpskyhawks.com/resident, you can get your free tickets at that site. And on Wednesday, for students, on March 6th from 9 to 1, Aerotropolis Atlanta is having a career expo. Students can register through their school career centers, and the expo is focused on aerospace, multimedia production, logistics, bio-life science, and food and agriculture business. So if you've got a high schooler who is interested in those areas, there is an opportunity for them to learn more and get more exposure to those areas. April 1st is the deadline for the Price Barbershop survey closing. And you can go to our website and go to the 6 West Development to add your input. And we want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to put in what they're thinking about Price Barbershop and how they want to see it evolve. I want to thank the Council for Quality Growth for their invitation to their monthly South Metro Advisory Roundtable to discuss development in the great city of College Park. We had a robust discussion at the Airport CID to just talk about everything that's going on in College Park, all the great things. 6 West, development in the Old National Godby Corridor, It was a very, very good discussion. I appreciate everyone attending, and want to make sure I said it at the last meeting. We've got an Easter egg hunt coming up on March 28th from 10:30 to 12:30 at Badgett Stadium. You can register at collegeparkrca.com. I am looking forward to our trip to DC on Thursday so we can connect with our federal legislators. And we have, I want to thank Ms. Carter and Ms. Emo for their hard work in getting our priorities, and so we can move forward with that and hopefully bring home some money so we can continue to keep on developing great projects in our region. And we're going to go to DC for the day, and then we're back in a couple of days for the National League of Cities Congressional Cities Conference. As a member of the Board of Directors and a liaison to the Small Cities Council, I'm going to be busy, but we're going to be bringing back great information and hopefully making good connections with our peers around the country, because we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, and people have really, really innovative ideas and strategies throughout the country, and we can certainly learn from them. And I want to close with a quote I saw from Martin Luther King Jr. The time is always right to do what is right. Councilmember McKenzie?
Thank you. All righty. Everybody, do kind of have a lengthy report, and I will try not to repeat some of the things that the mayor's already spoken. Today is my 64th day in office. Yay! Thank you. And also, today is the 4th day of Women's History Month. This month is set aside to honor the contributions of women to American history. It began with Women's History Week in 1978, and then in 1987, Congress passed a Public Law 100-9, which designated the entire month of March as Women's History Month. I want to say a quote from Jimmy Carter that he said in 1980. He said, "From the first settlers who came to our shores, from the first American Indian families who befriended them, men and women have worked together to build this nation. Too often, the women were unsung, and sometimes their contributions went unnoticed. But the achievements, leadership, courage, strength, and love of the women who built America was as vital as that of the men whose names we know so well." So I want to salute all of our women everywhere. No matter whether you get the credit or not, you're doing great things. Keep up the great work. I also want to say a special happy birthday to everyone who's listening to the sound of my voice or maybe watching this if you have a birthday in the month of March. My theme for my comments tonight is "It's bigger than us." Public service is about the citizens and the city that we represent. Everything we do while we're in office, sitting in these seats, should reflect that. And so, it's bigger than us. It's bigger than our personal opinions. It's bigger than our fears. It's bigger than our insecurities. And it's bigger than our prejudices and preferences. One of the reasons that I chose to run, and I ran hard for this seat, was because it was critical to me that the residents of my ward and my city come first, and that they have representation that not only sees them, but also hears them. My ward didn't need someone who would just sit here and pontificate or seek the seat in order to put the council members in their place, which was some of the ambitions that I heard of folks that were seeking the same office. But rather, they needed someone that was here to do the work and put themselves last in order to put the people first. And it isn't easy holding your tongue. Now, y'all know I'm a speaker. I can speak. It's not easy holding your tongue when you want to speak, or refraining from defending yourself when you know you're being lied about and falsely accused. But I understand, and Dean told me this before I ever came into office, it comes with the territory. So you've got to be bigger. That being said, these past 2 weeks have been a mixture of informing, inspiring, and inciting. I attended and I completed the Harold F. Holtz Training Institute for newly elected officials offered in conjunction with the Georgia Municipal Association and the University of Georgia in Athens. This was an incredible experience in which I had the opportunity to meet and to hear from other municipal leaders and elected officials and to gain information about how to be effective in my service to our community. You know, as soon as I was elected, I wanted to receive this training. I mean, I wanted to get this training before January 1st. But the practical and the professional teaching that I received during those few days last week was even more valuable after being in this seat for almost 60 days. So I really got more out of it because there was a point of reference and the learning was experiential. I want to thank GMA CEO Larry Hansen and his team for this dynamic training and for all the wisdom that he shared with us. And he kind of took me and Tracy's, well, she'll tell you, Councilwoman Arnold she'll tell you, but he was really, really kind to the two of us. March 1st through the 2nd, we thought we would have it March through the 1st through the 3rd, but March 1st through the 2nd, we held a retreat for our governing body. And it's no secret that this governing body has been challenged for quite a long time before January 2nd. And it didn't just begin, as I said, on January 2nd, 2024. These issues have existed for several years and have compounded to a place where all the progress we were making was either smeared by negativity or we were being seen as a contentious group that should not be entrusted to properly address the needs and the concerns of our constituents. The purpose of our retreat this past weekend was to remove ourselves from the organizational structure that we are in and even the geographic location that we govern in to focus on how to heal the hurts and the misconceptions that we have been allowing to affect our ability as a governing body to properly execute the responsibilities that come with running our organization, which is the City of College Park. Furthermore, the purpose of this retreat was to explore what issues were hindering us come to the full realization that we're here to serve the people. And we need to be the version of ourselves that allows this to happen in excellence and to do a reset so that we could move forward as a unified governing body. The only setback was that the retreat was scheduled to take place over a 3-day period, and we were not able to complete the targeted task because our presiding officer did not inform us that she would be leaving a day and a half early. We were, however, able to accomplish a few goals, and it was my hope that we would leave Beaufort and strive to put the people of College Park first and to continue to make sacrifices that come along with making this city and our residents a priority. Every member of our governing body was afforded the opportunity to put it all on the table and leave it there. We were able to gain a better perspective of our roles, or our lanes, as Larry Hansen would say. And most important, I believed that we would be able to agree that our behaviors are critical to our constituents, and we did. Some more takeaways were that the sharing of elected official opinions would be based on communication with those officials, and Mayor Pro Tem has already stated that, so that factual information would be shared with the members of our community. We also agreed that we would show one another respect as we meet, but not only when we meet here in this council chamber, but when we're not in a meeting as well. Most important, we agreed that we would leave the past in the past and move forward with the goal of representing our constituents in a spirit of accountability with respect for one another, and to have continued effective communication. We also got a better understanding about what it means to be a team, because regardless of what transpires during our meetings, behind closed doors and in our district, when one of us looks bad, our entire city looks bad. When one of us misses the mark, our entire city suffers. When we support one another and assist in helping one another to do good, then our entire city wins. Unfortunately, when we returned from the retreat, we discovered that there were more woes brewing and that we were not aware of until this morning's news articles began to flood our emails and our text messages. And now our beloved city is once again on the map in a way that is not appealing. We are facing a lawsuit that will cost our taxpayers tens of thousands of dollars simply because the communication we thought we had never really existed. And the real victims are the people who work hard every day to make a living to call College Park their home. The people who elected us to represent them. We did not want our personal feelings to get in the way of our decision making. The people who don't want our personal feelings to get in the way of our decision making. The people who deserve to have a peaceful place to live, like my sister spoke about, free of immature, petty political drama. I want to thank Dr. Natasha for being a phenomenal facilitator for this retreat and doing her homework and being prepared to help this governing body. Also to Warren Bond, who drove all the way to Beaufort to visually document to the event from my colleagues on council. And I want to also thank my colleagues on council and to everyone who attended for the full session. Our city clerk, our city manager, our city attorney, thank you for being there and thank you for being a part of making solutions happen. More news is I held my first Ward 1 community meeting on February 24th, 2024 at the courtroom in the Public Safety Building. During our meeting, our Ward 1 board appointees made reports and I gave updates on the restrooms in Barrett Park, curbside recycling, street and traffic concerns, and the Flint River Nature Preserve project. In an effort to save time, I won't go through what I shared with the community, all these updates, but you can go to our www.oneward1, the word one, the number ward, the word ward, and then the number one.com. And on that website, you can see my entire updates that were shared during that Ward 1 community meeting. I also want to thank our special guest speakers, Dr. Emmanuel Edidiran and Chief Connie Rogers, for sharing invaluable information, my colleague, Mayor Pro Tem Roderick Gay, for supporting us with his presence, and to all our police staff who were present. We had several police officers, about 5 or 6 officers, and especially to the 50-plus members of our community who came out at 10 a.m. on a beautiful Saturday morning to get informed and to begin to continue their involvement in our Ward 1 community. Our next Ward 1 community meeting will be held on March 23rd, which is a Saturday, at the same time, 10 a.m. We'll be putting signs out the Monday before that time just to let everybody know that we'll be there. It'll also be announced on our media. We are currently conducting a Ward 1 community involvement and development survey to get input from our resident stakeholders about 6 West, Barrett Park, Flint River, Main Street, safety, and other resident concerns. This survey was based on feedback that we have received from our community champions and persons in the community. I'm asking that everyone will please complete this survey. We have gotten a wonderful response already from our residents, but we want to hear from more. So we're asking that you would complete this survey no later than March 8th. The survey can also be found on our oneward1.com website, as well as our One Ward 1 Facebook information blog page. And the survey results will be revealed at our March 23rd Ward 1 community meeting. The next 2-week schedule is going to be very busy. We're going to travel to Washington, D.C. this week. I look forward to that. I want to thank Jennifer for coming all the way down here to sit with us. And we will be meeting with our federal legislators and then on to attend the National League of Cities Congressional City Conference from the 10th to the 13th. I plan to begin my office hours here at City Hall in April after the renovations are completed in our offices. I also want to let everybody know that our MARTA station, our airport MARTA station, will temporarily be closing from April 8th to May 19th. It's going to be a 6-week period to do construction renovation. However, there will be shuttle service available 22 hours a day from 4 a.m. to 2 a.m. between the College Park Station and the North Baggage Claim area. This will not affect the SkyTrain. The SkyTrain will continue to run on its route for those who catch it at the GICC and or are trying to go to the rental car lots. I also wanted to give some follow-up on the employee break room suggestion box. We are still going to give another week or so to leave that suggestion box. We just really got the word out, I believe it was last week. Krista let everybody know. We want to give another week or two for that. I've gotten some great ideas. Somebody even said we need to have a lactation room or a quiet space. So we want to kind of look at what we can do to make the employee break room here at City Hall more amenable, more friendly, and a place where you can really take a few minutes, half an hour, your break, and feel good about taking a break. I also want to thank our Chief Information Officer, Mr. Michael Hicks, for taking out time with me and Howard Levinson, who is my tech guy. And he spent an afternoon with us at Barrett Park. Michael showed us all the security features of the new restrooms in Barrett Park. We also, which is the Butterfly MX technology, fancy smancy water fountain that you can just put your little, water bottle to, and you don't have to touch it. It's going to fill the water up for you. But I was really impressed with the design of the restrooms, the thoughtfulness with the restrooms, and the fact that the security will require, you have to show your face in the camera, and you'll have to put in a code, or you'll have to be able to notify a park ranger. We have several ways that persons will be able to enter. I'm not going to get into all of it, but I want to thank Michael. We're not going to open up the restrooms in Barrett Park until we are totally sure that it is safe and secure. So once Michael and I talk and we see what's going on, I will be announcing a date for the grand opening of the restrooms in Barrett Park. I want to thank my colleagues for deciding to move forward with the Flint River contract with the MARTA, because that is very important, it's very necessary, and it's something that I have personally been involved in since 2017 when I took the tour with Hannah Palmer, and we began to discuss that project, and it was breaking my heart to think that that would fail. I'm also very thankful to the community from Eritropoulos and the Atlanta Regional Commission and Jennifer Imo and Brecca Carter, but David Scott's office, all of the organizations that have come together to say this is important and we're going to move forward with it. So I want to close by saying that I believe that organizations are much more than what they are slated to be on paper. And because organizations rely on people, human flesh and blood to run them, we must never omit to acknowledge the fact that the human element always matters. Organizations can't run without people, and therefore people matter. How those people feel, how they're viewed, how they're heard, and how they are seen. Therefore, organizations are run by organisms, and organisms are living, breathing entities that have feelings, and we're not perfect. And because we're not perfect, it can cause chaos at times, because humans can be unpredictable and very stubborn. But the good news is that organizations are governed. Because they're governed by humans, they can also heal, and they can also change. I want to encourage the members of my ward and the residents of the City of College Park not to lose hope. Even though things may not look the way each of us would like them to be right now, there is still always the possibility of change. And even though that change may be difficult, and change may challenge the core of one's being. I like what Dr. Chisulu said. There's time to change. Change can bring about growth, and growth can bring about prosperity. And prosperity is not money or things, but prosperity is the condition of being successful or thriving, okay? And because when people are prosperous, they are given the distinct ability to erase all the struggles that they experienced in order to achieve that progress and that prosperity. What I'm saying is that when you get to the point of prosperity, everything that you went through, everything that you tried to fight, every challenge that you met on the way, it becomes erased because you are now thriving. You are now successful. And our city is experiencing challenges. We are experiencing things that we don't like, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But if we continue to allow the process of growth to happen, if we continue to embrace the process of change, we can achieve true prosperity. Let's press on as a community of thrivers. And as Jesse Jackson would say, let's keep hope alive. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Councilmember Carter.
All right, amen. And amen. Let's pass the collection plate.
Put it on.
Amen. Speaking of collection plate, actually, I guess I'll start on that first topic. We've been making significant progress in this last couple of months. And I see good things happening in this city. Through all the transition and the turmoil, good things are happening in this city. And there are a huge list of improvements that we have been experiencing since the beginning of this year. But change is not easy. And sometimes it's going to be, a bit of agitation here and there. But we're making that change, and we're going to get through that change. And we're going to be solid and stronger than ever coming through on the other side of whatever challenges come our way. In my community, I've got a lot of residents that are struggling right now. Times are tough all over. Gas is still $3 plus. Food is still high. A part of this city's objective is to make the lives of our residents just a little bit better. And we want to strive to do that any way and every way that we can. City manager, one of the things I've seen around town, it seems like, I guess in the past 5 years, is, just about every other store I go to, it seems like I get to the cash register and they say, pay my money for whatever it is I'm picking up. And they say, well, sir, would you like to round that up to the next dollar? And, sometimes I round it up, other times I won't. Usually I round it up. I don't have to carry a lot of change in my pocket. Something had occurred to me, and city attorney, I kind of wanted to get a bit of a clarification on something along these lines. We've got a lot of utility service customers that pay for water, electricity, sanitation here in the city. What I wanted to know, was there anything that would possibly prevent us from putting together some type of a roundup program for residents that are struggling, that may be on that cutoff list for electricity, so on and so forth, and put together some kind of a roundup change request with the thousands of residents that we have for utility service?
No, Councilman, I can think of nothing that would prevent us from making a request that ratepayers voluntarily round up. We use that money, establish a separate fund that would be used to help folks. I can't, as I sit here now, think of any impediment to doing that.
Well, city manager and Councilwoman McKenzie in particular, I know, altruism and nonprofit and charitable giving is, I guess, kind of your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine that's sort of part of how you ended up here, I guess, in a sense too. But I'm not an expert at that, but I have seen the trend, and it's a heartwarming trend that has emerged in the retail industry nationwide. I think we might want to look at being part of that trend, and you probably know more about it than me, and maybe if y'all could come up with something. I thought, if there's no objections, I thought that might be a good something to explore, looking at doing a project like this, and maybe we have an application process for those most in need or something along those lines. But I'd like to explore it and see if it's something we can come up with that everybody would be okay with, if it's acceptable to everybody to take a look at something like that.
Did you want?
Well, whatever you-
Councilmember Arnold?
Add this to the next agenda.
Oh, yeah, well, no, I was just gonna, if there was interest in taking a look at it, I would maybe have the city manager just do some research and talk and look into the departments and see what is possible and bring it back at some point in time or whatever, so, but that was just my thought there.
And I would be willing to work on that, Joe, okay? I would definitely, Councilman Carter, I would work on it.
A couple other things. We did have we had a retreat, and most of us did commit to communicate better with each other. Most of us did commit to work together and as a team. And regardless of what goes on, I think the majority of this body will continue to work together as a team and do things that have never been done before in this city for the good of this community. No city is perfect. Every city goes through transitions, and again, we're going to come out on the other side of this stronger and better because of whatever it is that we go through. Councilmember Gay, in regards of that flooding issue, just so you know, I've been asking about that particular flooding issue for quite about 6 months, on and off. It's not it's right in front of the bridge, like at the front end of the bridge, not on the bridge itself, but it pools there, and it's like 6 inches of standing water, so it was a real big issue, and a lot of residents are going to be very, very happy if we can get that fixed and resolved. A couple of things I took care of throughout the last week or two. I attended the Korean trade reception with Fulton County government. There are a lot of Korean businesses in this county throughout Metro Atlanta. They're looking for new places to do business. They're looking to open up headquarters. And we are still open for business in the city of College Park. We have land for sale and properties, and we want to reach out to any and all that are interested in doing business with this city. And some of those folks are interested in doing business. I may be a part of the trade delegation in terms of travel over there, along with our state delegation, which includes some of our state elected officials, as well as our county, and participation on the city level. College Park wants to certainly be involved in that, and I think we will be. The Legislative Caucus event, the Black Legislative Caucus event, was on the 22nd at the GICC. It was a really great event. It was well attended and packed. We definitely rolled out the red carpet there. Mercedes, once again, first class event, first class showing for the city of College Park, and I think they're certainly going to be coming back. I attended the Community Engagement Day on the 27th at Banneker High School. They've got some incredible programs for those kids over at Banneker. City manager, there's so many programs going on right around us right now. You know, the mayor rolled off a litany of events and things that are happening. And, you know, there are very few people that will bother to look on our website if the information is on our website. You know, we still have a communications department now. I want to make sure that all of the countywide, citywide announcements are sent to the communications department from tonight that everyone has spoke on, to make sure I want to get those things in an email, dates, times, everything that is happening. I'm putting together a newsletter, community newsletter, and I want to make sure we're making sure our residents are aware. Again, the handful of residents that visit the website, that's great. They may get some information. But how about everybody else? What if you're not up on the web or tech savvy, so on and so forth? The Women Making History event on Godby Road was really fabulous. It was jam-packed, and I did attend. Mayor, she definitely represented well for the city of College Park. It was amazing to have that many mayors in town, and I made sure we showed a little hospitality. We had gift bags for all of our mayors, as we should. Looking forward to the trip to D.C. Brecca, I want to make sure, and we're going to get together some gift bags for our legislative delegation, our Congress members and senators and the like, so I want to make sure I got some bags. We're going to make sure we get those together, so we want to make sure that you're letting them know how much we appreciate them. So we'll get that together the next day or two here. I went on a tour with Mrs. Kennedy with the Keep College Park Beautiful group to the Strategic Materials Recycling Center over on Sullivan Road. This is a glass recycler, and it was a very enlightening tour. I never knew how organized that place was. You know, you pass by it on Sullivan Road, and it looks like just a great big pile of glass up there. But man, they are organized and meticulous like you would not believe. And they gave us some tips and pointers on how to organize our glass in a way that would be acceptable to them, where they could possibly arrange some type of a pickup where we could start the recycling system. And I know you had talked about a recycling program, and they told us what they needed from the glass perspective to make our lives a whole lot easier there. So that was a great tour. I also participated in the cleanup day, College Park cleanup day on February 24th with Georgia Works. Georgia Works is a partnership program, and they are cleaning up like you wouldn't believe in our high traffic areas, those high traffic intersections and in between spots where Public Works may not be able to get to. Those are the crucial areas, and I want to push to double what it is they're doing in College Park, because this is the kind of coverage we have. I always say again, don't let this city fool you. We're 14,000 in population, but that's about 100 to 150 every day. We get almost 10 times the company here, which means we're going to get 8, 9, 10 times the trash and litter. So we've got more cleanup and get more company than the average city, so we have to double and increase our efforts. Inspections and code enforcement, they are gearing up for an aggressive enforcement season, particularly in and around our apartment communities and everywhere else. I got one apartment complex looking at about 200 citations right now so far. And folks, we mean business when we say we are raising the bar. And those citations are real. They're going to cost real money. And if those unacceptable conditions are not fixed, then those fines are going to increase. We are making the improvements this community expects to be made here. Contrary to what you may hear, we are getting it done, and we're going to continue to do our best to get it done, despite of whatever distractions are coming. Last couple of things, the Congressman Scott, again, who has always come through for us. You know, Congressman Lewis was always there for us as well. He was heavily influential in us getting the airport lands back, along with the city of Atlanta, to create what is now going to be 6 West, our largest development project. They've worked in tandem over the years. Now, Congressman Scott will no longer be, his district will no longer be in Fulton County at all, in any part of Fulton County. So just FYI, and that's due to the state's redistricting plan. So he will not be our Congress member starting next year. Now, he still is our Congress member from now to the end of the year. And we're going to make sure that we recognize him. City manager, and I would like us to at some point do something for him before he leaves this city sometime this year. Again, he will be our Congress member for the remainder of this year. I think we need to honor him in some kind of a way, or some type of a reception or something along those lines. I would like to put something together. You know, when folks look out for us, we need to show them we really appreciate them. And cities that show their appreciation are cities that really strive. And we want to definitely make a good showing to let him know how much we appreciate his commitment. I had one, let's see, last thing here. Let's see here, I think I got, oh, so I need to find out, City Manager, if Fulton County Schools, if they have any kind of adult literacy classes, resources. I see DeKalb County and Clayton County do have adult literacy classes in some of the high schools, and I'm not quite sure what we have, but maybe Communications could find out for us. And that's all I got. Looking forward to a wonderful March. Oh, happy birthday to my mom. Her birthday is in March, so happy birthday, Mom. This is the closest council meeting to her birthday, so happy birthday. That's all I got.
Thank you, Councilmember Carr. Councilmember Arnold?
Thank you. So first, I would like to thank Dr. Emanuel and Ms. Althea Philord-Bradley for allowing me and Councilwoman McKenzie the opportunity to learn more about the budget development and budget amendment process. Not only did this conversation give us more insight into those administrative processes, it also allowed us to discuss some of the best and standard practices of the quarterly budget amendments and monthly financial reports. I believe our conversations will lead to providing the mayor and council with pertinent financial information going forward and assist us all in being better stewards of the city's financial resources. I also want to thank the Princeton Village HOA Board of Directors for allowing me the opportunity to share in their community meeting, and I'm looking forward to sharing at the next event. I want to thank Dr. Emanuel again and the wonderful staff at the Tracy Wyatt Recreation Center for the tour and the hard work that has gone into preparing the center for the upcoming spring and summer activities. I want to send a special thank you to Mrs. Constance Rodriguez for her leadership on the Keep College Park Beautiful on that board, and the cleanup day that was held by the entire committee at 10 o'clock on February 24th. On that same day, I participated in the Women Around Our Region, also known as WAR, luncheon for elected and appointed women leaders of Clayton County, where Mayor Motley Broom, along with other mayors of Clayton County, received a special recognition, and it was wonderful to see women being recognized in this way. From February 27th through the morning of March 1st, I participated in the mandatory GMA training for all newly elected city leaders. The training was very insightful, it was relevant, it equipped us with the documented and evidence-based and proven examples of how we should exercise our duties as elected officials. And yes, I too fell in love with the CEO, Larry Hanson, who actually shared some very inspiring stories with us. And one of the items that I was extremely excited about bringing back to this particular body was for us to reaffirm ourselves as a city of civility by readopting GMA's oath of civility. And now I'm really disappointed that it doesn't seem like that's going to be an option at this particular time because of the actions unbeknownst to us that took place before the beginning of our retreat on the evening of March 1st. So at this point, I'm completely baffled, and I'm being extremely transparent. While many of us were open and sincere, transparent with our concerns about the negativity and divisive activities and the serious implications that these actions have on our great city and our citizens, others had ulterior and nefarious motives, which is painful. But nevertheless, our great city will continue to grow and thrive. And I personally thank Dr. Natasha Gresham for working with us through this effort. And I hope that we will be able to complete the parts of the process that we missed due to the mayor's early departure. I too am looking forward to both DC trips along with learning and networking and advocating, continuing to advocate for the citizens of College Park. So moving on to some upcoming activities in Ward 3. The open volunteer position for the planning board for Ward 3 will close on March 7th. and I will begin hosting conversations with the applicants on March 8th. If you are a resident of Ward 3 and an alum of Clark Atlanta University, please reach out to my office and provide your name, address, and telephone number. And I have the number here, but you all know how to reach the city. And I am also seeking 10 Ward 3 volunteers for community activities and engagement. And more information will be shared with about these volunteer positions at the Ward 3 meeting that will be held on the 27th and within the Ward 3 newsletter. And those are all of my updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Councilmember Gay.
I'll be briefing y'all. My colleagues, y'all had great notes and information, so I was pleased to listen. I just want to start off by thanking my alumni, Frederick Douglass High School, for visiting the GICC for the annual breakfast. And that brings Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms and Michael Bunn and just a host of elected officials who attended Douglass. So Mercedes, I heard you did an amazing job once again for the Douglass High School breakfast. I want to also echo on the retreat. Everybody has talked about the retreat. I came away from the retreat like a reset. That's what we came back with, a reset. I cannot thank my colleagues for, I thought I liked them, but I really like them now. If you didn't get it out of the retreat, you had a missed opportunity, as they say in the church, because the love was there, Doc. The love was there. And, you know, I don't want to talk too much about it, but I will say this respectfully. A lot of energy was put on trying to bring harmony and peace. More so, I was ready to go back to my room. I like, this is too much time for one person, but they tried hard. So we're gonna keep. They tried hard, but we're gonna keep praying and keep praying. Anyways, I would like to ask that we bring the lifeline back. It's springtime on Sullivan Road. They do the neuter and spay clinic. And shots. We've had a few years ago, but it's really needed. Not just the neuter and spay, but the shots, and bring that back to College Park, please, for the spring. Councilman Cohen, you spot on with the workforce folks with the litter. I will tell you that they are asking for an increase, so we need to talk about how we can add that to our budget, because they want more money, but if it wasn't for them, I don't know what we could do, because the amount of litter that we get. But I absolutely want to consider adding Herschel Road. I think they do Herschel Road, actually. Riverdale Road. And if any of my colleagues have any streets that they notice hot spots for litter, talk to the Dr. Manuel about maybe adding your streets. Scratch that off. I wanted us to talk about the recycle bin. And Joe, you talked on, you and I must be kindred spirits tonight. You talked about you talked about the recycle bin, but I need my colleagues as well as the community, and this could be something for the Brownfield grant. We are conflicted. We're towing on the recycle bin on the 18 acres. I mean, we love it and we hate it. I mean, it is a great asset for the community. I'm talking about, but it has become a site for illegal dumping. It has also become a site where people bring just like a Goodwill. They like people come over there every morning. You'll see pickup trucks picking out furniture. So we got to figure this out, and I don't have the answers on what we can do to either make that sustainable or not. And maybe, Joe, like you said, maybe the glass people can come and talk to us about that, maybe the Councilwoman McKenzie, maybe the door-to-door recycling. But we gotta figure this one out, because the sanitation people over there every day, and that's not a good use of y'all's resources. It's time to start talking about Kids Fest and 8th Annual Ward 4 Citywide Festival. It's that time for these people on these budgets. It's that time. Start early. And I will tell you, last night, I watched Unsung, and they had Vanessa, what's her name? The lady at our festival, what's her name? Vivica Fox. She was on Unsung. If you haven't seen Unsung, they featuring Vivica Fox. I mean, I love her even more now. She has an amazing story, and for her to come to College Park, I mean, just to watch her journey and to say she came to College Park to visit with us, that says a lot about College Park, and not to mention she got a brother that lives here too. So it's festival and Kids Fest time to start talking about the budget. Dr. Manuel, we would like to know when the sidewalk construction is going to start. The mayor and council agreed to it, so we need to get that started. Dr. Manuel, we also need to know when the Jack Longino scholarship funds are going to go to One Talent. Do you know?
It's already gone.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see how easy this is. All right. Just a couple more. Dr. May and I at breakfast, we came up with a conversation about, and this is just a conversation, putting the cameras on certain employees' phones. Because as you know, there's cameras all over the city, and then we council people can watch we can watch the phones. But hey, could you imagine that is approximately 10,000 screen time hours of employees on their screen. Now imagine if just some of that time could be to look at deficiencies in real time. Maybe the recycle bin, maybe where there's loitering, and maybe we could come up, because we had the technology to put those cameras on certain employees' phones, and maybe you could incentivize them. I was at Mayor Dickens' office I went there to talk about how he administered his mayor scholarship. I really did, to learn how he does it. But I noticed the police in his office has cameras all in front of him, and he watching City Hall. So we got officers, and we got an opportunity to put more eyes on the city and make a better use of our resources. That's all I would like for you to start maybe looking at that. And I think that's about it. One thing I want to tell you, when y'all did the Brownfields grant, and this is a lot about what I call them Freedom Initiative, but anyway, Dr. Shavala, there's a lot about what he said. When we did about change, when they did the Brownfield grant, it hurt me that there was nothing on there that represented anything that I've asked and envisioned for since 2015 for my ward. Nothing. Not one thing. It took change just to have that conversation. It took change to have an equitable conversation. Nothing. And then I'm so kind-hearted, I start talking about how they use it in other people's ward. But I say that to say this. I would love to see some of that Brownfield money look at Camp Truett as a conservation, natural center, center for environmental education. Bring those kids back on buses to Camp Truett and let them watch indigenous plants, indigenous animals. So let's make Camp Truett a real thing. I love the Flint, but let's make Camp Truett bring that conversation back. And we're having a town hall meeting March 21st. And our special guest is Pat Labat. Sheriff Labat's gonna come and talk about his vision for our city and for his county, amongst other guests are coming. They're not confirmed, so I won't call their name just now. So I'll be sending out more information. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion to enter into executive session?
Yes,
Executive session for the purposes of discussion of real estate litigation and personnel? Actually, I don't think it's
Amendment, it's just, I'd like to make a motion to enter into executive session for the purpose of litigation and real estate.
personnel. All right, thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that is unanimous. Enter into executive session.